Hello there, friend. How are you doing? Fine, I hope and trust. I'm going to get into this training. Now, it isn't a very long training, but there is work to do inside of it. And it is put together so that you will think differently about how you accumulate expansion, elevation, opportunities, of course, and wealth within your business, because there are different ways for us to really dive in to how our business can grow and who is growing with us and who we're growing with. And so it isn't super jam packed with loads of things, but there are loads of things to think about. And this could be something that really just helps you to show up, to go places, to do things, to expand your business and to expand and bring awareness to your business. And we really want awareness because people are who pay for our services. So the more people that we reach is the more awareness that we have, and therefore the more opportunities to work with people. Okay, so let's dive in. So we're going to look at the opportunity of maximizing and expanding your opportunities and the things, places, people around you, so that we're basically opening our eyes to more abundance, so that we can stop leaving money on the table, stop trying to just scrape at it, but actually allow ourselves to be expansive. Okay, so we're looking at creating more opportunities, developing collaborations, and taking that money off the table. So many people do walk away from situations and walk away from opportunities because they're not actually even aware that they're an opportunity, right? You know, like how many times do you get into a room and sure, you may have a few conversations, but are you really open to what is happening in that room? Are you receptive? Are you aware? Are you seeing people, right? Are you seeing what is possible? Or are you just thinking about self in that moment or thinking about just that moment, right? There's always some forward thinking that we can be doing. So I want to tell you a quick story that just gives context to what I'm addressing here. And I've done this many times in different situations, but I stepped into a shop right here, me with a bag. I'm wearing these shoes. I posted this on my story. So what I did is I went into this store, and let me just tell you that the plan was not to go and make a collaboration, to make a build a relationship. That's not what I had even in mind. But I walked into this store on a very sad day. It was a lot going on. I was in a rehearsal and I had a long break, and I just wasn't feeling great. But I thought I'd go for a walk, and Carvela store, which is now not in Westfield but in Stratford, but Carvela store had opened. It's a brand new luxury brand, owned by women, designed by women. It's actually under the umbrella of Kurt Geiger, but there's a department that is specially catered to Carvela, which is all women led and women created. And I actually saw a picture on the wall, the advertisement of five different body types. It was women, and they were all in sports, I think, sportswear, and they all had different body types. And it was just a gorgeous photo. It was just so beautiful. And that's actually what drew me into the store. And so I went in and I just stood there looking at it, and then kind of looked around a few things. And one of the sales assistants asked me how I was, if I needed any help. And I wasn't looking for any specific things. I wasn't going in there to buy anything, but I just started talking to her, right? And that's when I learned that the store was run by women, or the HR was run by women, the managerial team in the overarching store of Carvela was run by women, and then they employ women, and that all of the bags, the shoes, everything's designed by women. And that obviously got me, excited because I work with women. And so we just got into this conversation. And then she asked me what I do. And I began to share about my empowerment room event. I began to share about my coaching, to share about my arts. And she was just like, wow, that's amazing. We need something like that. And this is a place where I could have stopped and said, oh, that's great and that sounds amazing, and it's so amazing that you guys do that, but thank you for speaking to me. I'm gonna make a move. Like, this is where I could have cut off the conversation, or we could have fizzled it out, and she was ready to, and there was something in me that could have easily done that, but I chose to be like curious Curiosity is something that goes so underrated. When we get curious about the possibility of what could happen, that opens the door to opportunities, right? So I got curious. What would that look like? What do you feel like you need? Or, all of these different things that I was just asking to be curious. And then she said, "Oh, let's get the manager," right? So the manager came out, started this conversation, and actually got the contact for the head of PR in the company, right? And we started talking about, corporate away days and training their team. And I would go in and have conversations with some of the team and things like that, right? So this was an opportunity that opened up by going into that store, by having the conversations, by being aware of where the conversation was going. And then I tried on these shoes, I put this bag on and did a cheeky little photo and I tagged them in my stories. That is what I did. When I left there, I got a response in my DMs that was like, this looks really, really cute. We've got your email. We'd love to talk to you. And we had that conversation. And at that time, I was about to go onto a red carpet event. And, I wanted to wear trainers. And they were like, here's some trainers. You can have these. And we saw that you put the bag in your stories. We're just going to give you the bag as well. And they sent that to me. Okay. So out of that, the collaboration developed into here is some branding for you, that you get to show up in. And likewise, here are some opportunities that I can go in and work with their team, speak to their team. And that was something that came out of being present, being aware, even when I didn't feel like it. And that's something I really want to stress, because sometimes we don't feel happy, we don't feel excited, something has happened. There are all of these external factors, and life will be lifing, right? And we don't want to shy away from that. We don't want to be dishonest about that if we're not feeling up to certain things. But it doesn't mean, just because we're in those places, it doesn't mean that we can't be looking for the opportunities. They are still there, they're still around, okay? So let me just tell you one more story as well, because this was another thing. I was going on to a red carpet event, and I know that I'm saying, that's an anchor. I'm going on a red carpet. What can I utilize? But there are other ways of stepping into environment and utilizing. You've got an audience. You've got people you want to serve. You've got, like, I went to a festival. I went to Fern Cotton's festival, and it was Happy Place Festival, and the brand Daye, Daye, who specialize in gynecological health, they were there, and I went over and I started talking to them just about the products, and then I got in, kind of connected to the events. I think she was the head of events there. And then she gave me a contact for somebody in the team. And then I emailed her and we got connected. And since we've been speaking about events to go and speak at, them sending me product, these opportunities open up to you. And so I can go in there and coach and bring that aspect, and they can supply products or supply branding. And why is that helpful? Because even when your brand connects to known brands like that, it builds trust. People trust you even more. They trust what you're doing. They trust who you are, and they don't always have to be public. So I'm just stressing this because I really want you to understand there are all sorts of different possibilities. And some of the things that have happened to me because I've stepped out and because I've been aware of the opportunity. I booked my first celebrity client by being in the room and showing up. She actually just said to me, I just love the way that you show up. Will you coach me? And that was just being present. I booked my first keynote speaking engagement, right, by just having a conversation with somebody on Instagram, right? And they wanted me to come and keynote their speaking engagement. And that's not where the conversation even started. It went on ups and downs, and we were just connecting. And then she, mentioned that I was asked to join 2 mastermind coaching programs. Okay, so I am part of a faculty of women who coach on other people's programs. That gives you reach to other people's communities, other people's audiences. I was asked to coach in corporate spaces. So I went to, I was asked to come in, and this is from my creative side, right? I was asked to come in as a creative consultant to workshop with other creative consultants in order to go into corporate spaces and facilitate sessions. Okay, I've booked numerous speaking gigs from showing up, looking for the opportunities, and I've been asked to be on podcasts. I've made more contacts on places like Instagram, Threads, than I'd sometimes do in public, right? And I've made connections in public. I got a BBC opportunity because of how I showed up in public. I want you to get used to going places, going places, having the conversations, and connecting with people. I connected with a really amazing young woman who is a speaker who just came back from speaking in Cannes and doing her first TED talk. And I met her at an event, and we got on a Zoom, and the Zoom conversation was as simple as, I just wanted to connect with you. I just wanted to know more about you. I just wanted to hear about you. And in turn, she was interested in hearing about me. And now we're on each other's radar. Then we connected on the socials. And now we're going back and forth. And something will eventually come from that, right? So it's about being open. Your network is your net worth. So the network that you have is a reflection of the net worth that you are, right? And I'm talking about in a sense like you're worthy, you're enough, you all of those things from a value standpoint. But if we're talking about business and we're talking about where we're going, your network is your net worth. I remember hearing a story of a guy during lockdown who lost everything. I was on Clubhouse app, and I was listening to this guy, and he had lost absolutely everything, all of his work. His business was very in person, and it was like he was saying, I just have to shut that down. And he had accumulated such a big network that they had said to him, no, we're going to feed into this. I've got this idea. I've got that idea. What about if you do this? He rebuilt his business. And I think it was in without 3 months, he had reaccumulated the millions. I'm talking about the millions of finances and wealth that he had lost. He reaccumulated that because he knew so many people, and so many people were willing to help him. He had such a good relationship with people, and it wasn't always, those relationships weren't always built on, here's what I can get from you, or here's what I can even give to you. Why don't we just connect? People help expand and sell your business if you have that right network. So I want you to really get open to who is in my network. So how and where can you create more opportunities in your business? This is a question that we get to ask ourselves daily. How and where is there an opportunity? How and where is there a relationship to be built? So it's something to just be open about, something to just be expansive about. So opportunities. Free opportunities, paid opportunities, collaborative. That should say opportunities. Clearly didn't change that. But here we are with our beautiful imperfections. So free opportunities, your network. Your network can provide you free opportunities. There's opportunities to speak, to have conversations, to refer. I am so passionate when I know that your business and your expertise can help somebody else. I am so passionate about connecting those people. I want to help people get to their goals as quickly as possible. There are going to be people in your world that you can connect to one another, and there are going to be people in your world that will connect you to other people. Free events. Where do you need to turn up at? Where do you need to be present at? If your business is doing a certain thing, are you in the spaces that are really, catering to that industry? Conversations, brands, organizations. Like I said, I walked into the store and had a conversation with an organization, and that brought about a collaboration. I didn't mean for all that to rhyme, but it did. So inside of this as well, it's just like, where can you be? What can you be doing? Who can you be speaking to, just to bring that awareness? And it isn't to say that every store you go into, and I'm not saying even go into stores, but every brand that you reach out to or anything, they're even going to get back to you, or they're even going to be interested in working with you. That's not to say, but you want to practice putting yourself out there. Paid opportunities, so attending paid events, paying for people's time. If there's somebody out there that you want to learn how they've done a certain thing, you might want to say to them, I'd really love to pay for an hour of your time. How much would that be? Most people are going to turn around and say, oh my gosh, you don't have to pay for it. I can give you 30 minutes, right? For free. And that might be enough. Collaborative opportunities, social media collaborations, and collaborating on offers and services. So let me dive into that. So free opportunities. Who in your network can you connect to and create what it is that you desire? Who is it? You've got a desire on your heart. Are there people around you that can help bring about that desire? Are there any events you could attend? Are there any brands you desire to collaborate with, or organizations you can connect to? So this is just about having the thought process on that. Paid opportunities, paid events, paying for people's time. Are there any paid events that you know will make a difference if you attend? Is there anyone you can connect to, pay to learn from, right? Like we said earlier. Who can you get around? Who do you need in your world, and whose world do you need to be in? Collaborative. Social media collaborations, offers and services. Is there anyone you could collab with on socials? Go live with, do a joint post with. Are there people in a similar niche, or are there people who are in a polar opposite, but you know if you work together, it could be beautiful, right? And magical, and attract more people. Is there anyone you can offer your service to in exchange for testimonials? I had a woman who approached me recently and was like, I would love to give you this thing for free. In exchange, will you hype me? Will you hype up what I do? Simultaneously, also, would you be interested in coming in to my mastermind? And this was to speak and to train her women. And so the exchange became, she's going to give me what she offers for free, and I'm going to give her what I offer for free. And simultaneously, she gets access to my network, I get access to her network. Can you see now? That means my network grows, my net worth grows. So let's talk about your hit list. And this isn't hit list to die. This is the hit list that you might want to work with, you might want to collaborate with. This is just a way to systematically put things in order. So I've got a tool for you to use so that you can do this. We're going to think about who you know, and not only that, who you want to work with, who you want to collaborate with. So on the link below, you have a link to a Google Drive. I want you to make a copy. Please go to File and select Make a Copy so that you've got your own copy. Please do not edit this document, because this is the foundational document for everybody. So please make a copy. And inside of this, you may have podcasts that you know you want to get onto. You have events that you know you want to be a part of, attend, speak at, all of that jazz. Projects you want to be involved in. There's double leaf for projects, just in case you've got more. There are also other areas of masterminds, of social media. So this is for you to go through. So I've just filled in my details. So if you were somebody who was trying to come on my podcast, for instance, and you knew that that was somewhere that you wanted to collaborate, you wanted to be a guest on whoever's podcast, you would want to write then the name of the podcast, who is the host of the podcast, or who's involved, who do you need to be in contact with, what they do. So it might be their title, the purpose of this collaboration, or the purpose of this brand awareness. I want to get on there to be able to have access to their communities or their audience, or it might be I just want to collaborate with them and see where it goes, the industry that they're in, so that you just know this is about entrepreneurship, or this is about product, or this is about your digital products or your courses. So you can just be specific in that, and then their contacts, right, their email. So this is going to be people that you have on your radar. So you may want to do a section of this with all the people you know and all the things that you're already collaborating with. But we're really looking at the concept of your hit list, who you're going after, so that you're getting diligent about forward thinking. These are the people, these are the things, these are the spaces. And on top of that, you're making a decision. I'm going to reach out to them on the 10th of October. Or you might put in the notes, I've already reached out to them on the 10th of October. They don't have availability. I'm going to reach out again. I'm going to follow up in 3 months. So this is just an accountability space for you to document that process, so that you can get really laser focused on who it is that you're collaborating with. And people are going to pop up all the time. It isn't about us trying to necessarily just do things on the go. I make these kinds of systems so that I am not constantly thinking about the thing. I've got a space where it is documented, and I can leave space in my mind for creative thinking. A lot of the times people get overwhelmed because they've got it all in their head. And as creatives, we love to do that. And I stand by it to a certain degree. But I promise you, if you get systemized in how you are delivering this information to yourself, to your team, even if you don't have a team yet, eventually you're going to have a team. Eventually you're going to bring people in. And so the earlier that you can build systems in your business and ways of working, the process, the easier it is going to be as you expand and as you grow. So I want you to do that work. Dive in. Get that hit list in. Think about the people that you want to collaborate with, that you want to provide opportunities to, have opportunities with. Think about that so that you can start expanding on your business and getting really effective about building your network. I'll see you in the next module.